We're chasing comedy, working on jokes, working on bits, seeing what sticks, seeing what stinks. We're Brian and Dustin, and we're chasing comedy.
What movie? Wait a minute, a cornfield clown movie? What is it?
You wouldn't be into it.
What?
You like, you know, some.
All right, I'm gone for one. I'm gone for 1 week, and now it's like I'm getting hammered.
Like it. You like horror film. You don't like horror films, do you? You seem like you're more sophisticated than that.
No,
exactly. Did I not know, my friend? That's not your jam.
It's not my jam. Although The Exorcist, I went to see in the theater.
Dude. Yeah, that's a classic. I mean, that's how long ago was that? There's been a few movies after that.
That was it. That was my last horror film. That was it. That was enough.
That is. If you are to see one, that's the one.
Yeah.
My whole theory with that. Yeah. Go ahead.
That actually did it. That one completely. You know.
Well, my theory with The Exorcist is the reason it's scary is depending on what kind of religious upbringing you had. Like if you went to church all the time and like believed in, you know, the good side, then you obviously believed in the bad side. So it was scary. It was like it felt real, you know, as opposed to just Jason with a thing or whatever.
Right.
It's just like the devil. The devil's real. I don't know about a dude coming out of the water and killing all the campers, but
although
it can possess a girl. It can possess a girl and make her head turn.
There are Ted Bundys and the Ed Geins of the world. So I mean, you know,
there are, but their heads don't turn, you know, around or whatever.
That was the one thing in that film that there were several things, obviously, but there's the one thing with the head turning around thing. You went, wait a minute. Let's go back, okay? Now, physiologically, how do you pull that off? I mean, the devil would have to. Was the devil then healed her? I mean, you can't turn your head around without doing some serious, chiropractic damage to your body. And yet, Linda Blair walked out of that unscathed, and so I'm just basically saying,
not really,
in the movie. Oh yeah, but there was a lot of
problems after that movie.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
No, I think it's the devil's all powerful, so it can as much as it can morph into a creature, it can morph the body and morph it right back. I think it's kind of like
I'm just saying
climbing walls too, dude. So it's like, you know.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying. That was the part where I said, wait a minute, the devil, I get the pea soup thing. I get you know what I mean? Like,
you must be fun when you watch movies. Do you just like, you must be one of those guys. It's like, that's not real. There's no, you watch Star Wars. They're like, there's no furry guy just talking to a dude in a vest. That's not real.
Was it, wait a minute. I think it was Teddy Bergeron who said that he went, comedian. You know him? Do you remember Teddy?
No.
He had a great joke. He was like, there's a guy, there's always one guy goes to see Peter Pan on Broadway, and the little girl's like, oh my, look, she's flying, Mommy. She's on a wire. She's on a wire, okay? There's no Santa Claus, and she's on a wire, all right?
I love that. I remember one of the few joys in my life is just being a broke comic is always fun. I'm still a broke comic, but this is another level of broke. And I remember I used to buy the bootleg DVDs. I feel like Adam, you were in on this, right? You would just somebody would give you a stack of like these bootleg DVDs, and some of them would be good. You know, you'd get some that were like, you know, maybe like Russian or some weird language, and it would just be like, you wouldn't, you know, be subtitled or something, you know, whatever, but it was like the quality was good. And then you get some like the Seinfeld episode where it's like, you know, people with a camera and everything, people coughing, you know, and just like having full conversations when you're trying to watch the thing. And I remember I got one, it was like one of the Wolverine things, and somebody had stolen it from, I guess, editing. And so I mean, the beginning of the movie is just the regular movie. And then halfway through, there's like, you see the green screen, you see that he's on a wire, and it's the full movie, but you just out of nowhere, it's like all this stuff. all the
That's
stuff
really funny.
supposed to be touched up in editing is just in it. That's probably worth something. I got that somewhere, but it's just this weird, like,
Yeah,
this unfinished Wolverine.
That's really funny. I think I got one of those. I can't remember what movie it was, but something. And if, you know, they used to film the movie screen. Somebody would set up their camcorder and just shoot the movie screen, so you would get the DVD. Yeah, that was the thing. And I remember watching it for like 8 minutes. I can't remember what movie. I thought, I'm going to beat the system by getting this ahead of everyone else, and that was my. And I look at the thing, and it's just a guy with his camcorder shaking.
Yeah,
and you know, like. People are walking by, and you know, M&Ms and
then depending on how good your camera was, it's like, I mean, some people it looked okay, but then some just have some crappy camera, and you're just like, it's just dark, you can't really see it.
What's the comic equivalent of that? You know what I mean? Like what? Like for stand-up comedies, like. My special's coming out. I don't know. There's something funny about the idea that I'm not going to release a special. I'm going to release a video of someone filming the special. like a really low grade.
I think David Tell did that. David Tell did that. He gave the whole audience iPhones. And
he did?
He did a special. He gave it like 10 iPhones out to the audience and then did a special. It was pretty cool. It was just like people were just like, you know, just filming parts of it with the phone. And they put all that in. It was pretty great. It was just like the ultimate kind of like, you know, fan.
But that's an artistic choice. I think that actually enhanced the experience, you know.
Well, I don't think people like comedy enough to do that.
No,
you know what I mean? No. We're not Spielberg movies, so nobody's going to go out of their way to bootleg us. I mean, they do. They put stuff online that's not on with our permission and stuff, comedians, and you know, that's I guess that's the equivalent. It's like that, you know, and it's never any good set. It's that moment you haven't had a meltdown in 3 years, and they catch that moment, you know,
right?
Screw you, you're not my dad. And you're just yelling at some dude.
There is something funny about. There is something interesting. I don't know what the comedic angle is, but there is something weird about the fact that somebody can film you at a comedy club, this art form that you dedicate yourself to, and then post it online like they did to Louis before, you know, when the bit wasn't even ready yet, and release it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like a Dylan released a bootleg album, you know, like, you know, Brian Scott McFadden at the bottom line, you know, like a really grainy, you know, there's something creepy about the whole thing, but obviously, this is the age we live in.
Yeah, it's what we are. I mean, it's just, you know, people just can't. It's, you know, you go to concerts and they're, you know, it used to be a time when people held a lighter and that was it. That was the, you know, that was the light that came from their hand. And it was just like, now you go to a concert, you have to look past the cell phone just to see the stage. There's just a sea of people recording, and you're just like, I mean, I get it. I'll do like a snippet, just be like, hey, I was at this show. But people be like a full song, like the whole concert, and they put it on YouTube and they get hits, and ultimately they make money off of it because, you know, it's like the more hits you get, the more money, whatever. And so, but the whole like filming, not being present is like this weird thing. It's like, you know, at a concert or whatever, it's like you're not even feeling the song, or you don't even know what's going on. You're just more concerned about being impressing someone with your crappy iPhone 13 footage. Bruce Springsteen spent his whole life trying to cultivate this amazing live experience, and then you're just gonna put it in this little screen of your phone, and that's what you're gonna identify with the entire time. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I really bemoan the technological revolution on so many levels, and I keep trying to look for the upside. You know, it's funny because everyone can make a movie now, you know what I mean? And everyone can make a movie now. And what's happened to the movie industry? Yeah. It's been murdered, right? Like, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like
yes and no.
Who saw that coming?
Yeah.
No, but
yes and no. I mean, it's like depending on what angle you're looking at. If you're a filmmaker with no money, it's pretty great. If you know.
Well, it's pretty great in the sense that, like, you can do something, and you can definitely
that doing it is all we want to do. You know, that's it.
Yes, the barrier to entry is definitely there. However, the whole concept of like what the movie going experience, as Scorsese and Coppola have pointed out, it's been decimated by that people no longer. I mean, think about what a movie was and how excited you were when something came out, and going to that whole experience has been so.
Of course. Same with stand-up comedy. It's the same thing. I mean, I remember when it's like you wanted to see a stand-up, you either watched the special, or you watched a late night show, or you went to the club. You didn't watch, clips of thousands of comedians, some that are an open mic. That's the thing too. I posted a thing about that. It was just like these comics that are just, I go, the equivalent of like posting a set from an open mic online is the same as downloading a song on iTunes that you sang in the shower. Like it's the same. Like you're just, why are you getting that out? Nobody, that's not ready. There's not a real crowd there. What are you doing? And then it's just like these clip after clip. So yeah, it's like comedy changed too, not just movies. I mean, everything. And it's like, and those guys are stars. I mean, Tony.
But people still go to comedy clubs.
They go to movies too.
Well, the box office is not good. Like the box, except for blockbusters, like a handful of films. Like nobody sees the. Remember, like the Academy Awards. Like half the people were like, I didn't even see any of these movies. Like it's amazing. That's unprecedented. That is amazing.
I mean, that has to do with the streaming. It's just people making deals and making, instead of my friend's filming a movie now, and it's like he went out of his way to make sure that it's in a movie theater and not just an Amazon movie or whatever. But that's the thing, they make these deals and it's just like I can make a movie on Netflix and it doesn't go to the theater and I still make millions of dollars. And
I know.
Why wouldn't I do it? So they still get the caliber star. And then, but that's the thing. TVs are great. Remember how crappy TVs were? It's like that. I blame a lot of that. It's like we have these amazing TVs and they don't even cost anything. You can get a great TV for like $500. And it's amazing. It used to be like you'd have this kind of crappy TV with mostly wood, is mostly made out of wood. Like that was most of the TV.
Yeah.
was this like a trunk, like a tree trunk with this like 14-inch screen. It's like if you had a remote, it was like a click remote. They literally call it was a clicker because it clicked. Or my family, come on, you gotta let me do this.
Go ahead.
And then my family, the knob would fall off, and then that's just the old joke. Where it's like, my dad would put like needle nose pliers and then you would become the remote. That's probably the hackiest joke of the 80s, where it's like, I was the remote as a child. Yeah.
Yes. I was the remote. Yeah. Perfect.
Go ahead.
No, I think that's the fact that, and if you're like a poor person in America, you have a big screen TV, most like, like that, that you get even people in poverty have a big screen TV. So I hear. I don't know, maybe it's not true, but everyone has a big screen TV, and
it's easy. Yeah, I'm just saying. So it's like, that takes away from the movie experience, And then I think Danny McBride was talking about a lot. Even movie theaters aren't as good as they used to be. I mean, in New York and LA, we have the best movie theaters in the world, but you go to, there it is.
Yeah, there you go.
My grandma had one of those.
Yeah.
Our whole family we had a Zenith. That was a big deal. Zenith was a pretty big. Curtis Mathis. That was the big one. That was
Curtis Mathis. I don't know that one. I knew Zenith.
Am I saying that right, Adam? Is it Curtis Mathis TV? Is that
RCA, Zenith,
Curtis Magnavox.
Magnavox, yeah.
Magnavox.
Put Curtis Mathis in there. I think that's a real thing.
Yeah. Curtis Mathis. It was Curtis Mathis TVs.
Yeah, it was like a big deal. It was like it was like a dude, and he made a TV.
I vaguely recall something called Works in a Drawer. Do you remember where they had a TV that had all the? That was like a huge thing. It was solid state or something, and there was a drawer. There was something called. Oh God, I can't believe I'm remembering this, but it's like from my early childhood. It was something called Works in a Drawer. There was a thing you'd pull out. I didn't even know what it did. Google that. Works in a Drawer TV. Okay, and there's it was. Okay.
Yeah,
wow! Look at that.
Got the turntable on the top. I would love that now. Like I would rock that. if I had the space. That's a
Works
beautiful piece of
in,
furniture right there.
That is a great. Hold on,
Yeah,
I'm looking up.
That's fun.
Quasar works in a drawer commercial. Yep, there it is. Motorola. Yeah.
Oh,
They
that
would
was
pull
a
the thing out.
beeper.
I have no. Yeah, I don't even know what it does, what it even did, but it was very. It was like a
but
big revolution.
That's the thing. The technology now is good, and then the movie theaters aren't good. That's what Danny McBride was saying. Like in little podunk towns, because they peaked in the '90s, so it's basically all '90s technology. So you'll have like a speaker that's humming. You know, you have like,
Yeah, right.
it's
Yeah.
you know the theater itself is like dirty, and so you know it's like. To not see a movie in Los Angeles or New York, you know, it's like you should do that. I mean, I live next to the Chinese theater. It's the most amazing theater. It has a chandelier in it. It's phenomenal. It's IMAX. It's got all the footprints of all the stars and the all that stuff out front. Like it's amazing. But they don't make it the experience anymore. That's why people don't go to the movies.
No.
You know, it's like they you gotta. It's like why you stay home with your your $500 TV. It's like
I saw the trailer for the new Superman movie, and I was like, all right, I'm going to that. Right? I mean, I don't even know what to make of it, but it looks fascinating and interesting.
Yeah.
And I thought emotionally, I looked at that and I was like, all right, I'm going to see that.
Did you get this? Did you get this text message or this message from Adam?
Yeah, I have it if you guys want to see it.
Oh, I thought you have
30-second.
it. I thought you have it. I like you own it.
No,
That's how I
pulled
read
it up
that.
If you want to see it.
Oh yeah, we'll put up
what?
Brian's stupid thing. What is it?
Yeah. You want to see that the Quasar works in a drawer TV?
Not really.
Bring it up.
Let's go. This is
It's only 30 seconds.
We're back to interrupting conversations through dumbness. I love it. All right, what do we got? Oh, it's a commercial.
Today's jets depend on the air traffic controller. He depends on critical devices, some with works in a drawer. Here's a device, the solid-state works in a drawer Quasar color TV, shown with simulated TV picture. Lives don't depend on it, but you rely on it for a beautiful color picture. When you look for the works in a drawer TV, remember the unforgettable name, Quasar by Motorola.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't understand what the appeal was. Like
What is that
drawer.
that's coming out? What was that coming out? Like you get to see like the electronics of it? Is that all it is?
Yeah, that's it. It was like, oh, we got the works
Kind of like a clear phone. Is that kind of like that?
Yeah. Like I guess it makes repair easy, or that's what's the point. I don't even know. It doesn't even tell you what the point is, but it's got all the. It was like, what? Okay, why would I need? Who cares? Like it's like. But
no, I think it's pretty
cool.
At least there was like machinery, Like I love like advancements in machinery, that kind of stuff. But it's like, I think that's fascinating because that's hands-on people doing that stuff. It's not like microchip, stuff.
I love the fact that the commercial featured air traffic controllers, which was 1973.
Well, I love the idea of them watching TV while they're trying to land planes.
yeah, clicking. Yeah. Hey, look. Hey, what's on? Hey, look, Mannix is on. Let's put on the Love Boat.
I love this episode of Alf. Oh crap! There's a plane coming in on the south side.
Yeah. What the hell? Yeah.
All right. This is like airplane. Am I right? That's on at 8.
And we're having issues with our air traffic controllers now at like Newark Airport. They're taking trauma leave, and back then, it's just a weird thing. Like when we have technological breakthroughs, and yet they seem to be ahead of things in 1973 more than they are now.
I don't know if a TV in the control room is ahead of things. I think it's just trying to move product.
Works? Does it have works in a drawer? But they had works in a drawer.
I don't think a TV that you could just see the guts is really technology that we're looking for. It's like they're just trying anything to make people spend their money.
I know.
People did a lot of drugs back then, so like, so that's cool. Look at that. I need that. They just get high and watch commercials.
But it stayed with me all these years. I thought that's the coolest thing, and now I don't know why it was cool. I have no idea.
No, It's not that you thought it was cool. It's just like we watch so much television and so many things are just in our heads and like, hey, Mr. Microphone. Hey, good looking. Come back. I'll pick you up later. You know, like there's just the Venus flytrap. It's like it's all in our heads from all this, you know, and your dad is responsible for a lot of it. You know?
Yes. My dad has blood on his hands. Yeah.
He does. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, so it's, I think it's just like, it's like all this like you know, commercial trauma that we can't get rid of.
Hey, Adam, call up Whisk Parrot commercial. Ring around the collar.
Is that your dad?
Yeah. My
He
dad
did the ring around the collar? Oh wow, that's a big one.
Yeah, my dad was one of the 2 actors, I think there were 3, that did all the parrots. They would have auditions, and my father would book the parrot all the time on commercials. And the Whisk ring around the collar parrot commercial was the most famous one. And my dad could sing as a parrot. He could do impressions as a parrot.
That's
creepy.
Unbelievable. That's great.
Yeah.
Did you have a parrot? He was the parrot.
No, I didn't have a parrot. But any woman that owns one you don't date her. That's what I used to do a joke about that. Right?
Oh yeah.
Nothing creepier than a woman who owns a parrot.
Oh, I know one.
All right, here we go. Oh my, this is
I'm surprised
so
they
weird.
have all these things on here. This is crazy.
Ring around the collar. Ring around the collar.
Those dirty rings. You try scrubbing them out and soaking them out, and you can still come out with...
Ring around the collar.
Now try Whisk. Concentrated Whisk goes right on the dirt. Its unique formula sinks in and starts to clean before you start to wash. Gets even permanent press collars really clean. Whisk around the collar beats ring around the collar every time.
Pretty sure.
No, yeah. Shout out to Brian's dad, huh? It's a classic.
That's so funny.
I remember that one. Yeah, that was a big deal. That was a big deal. The ring around the collar, like that was an issue that was that a lot of, no matter left, right, we all had to deal with ring around the collar.
No matter what you're Mormons, Jews, Catholics,
we all had the
Muslims.
Same. He's just like dirt around our neck that we all had to deal with, and I think it's moved to pits now. It's like you know. We got pit stains, white shirts with the pit stains. I think they need to do that. Whisk needs to get into the pits because nobody cares about ring around the collar. Who cares? It's like buttoned.
Rap, pit stains, rap.
I think you can bring it back. I think that's the commercial we need.
So. You know, it's funny. My father almost never. If I hear my father's voice, it doesn't matter what accent he does. I know it's him. Like that's so adorable, right?
Yeah,
like I can hear it. I go, oh, I know what that's my dad's voice. I can, even if he's doing a parrot, I can go, oh yeah, that's him. That's him. I remember that.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, to have a dad that, you know, I think a lot of kids, it's like, you know, we had people, you know, read stories to us, parents or whatever, that didn't really bring it. I bet your dad, did you ever like, just like when you do stories, like you really get into it's like 14 different characters, like he's adding characters. Yeah. It's like, dude, it's just the 3 bears. Like, I didn't know, where did this wolf come from? Like, what's happening? It's like, he brings in a possum. What the possum? Hey, I'm Johnny the Possum. You're not supposed to be in this.
My dad used to do that. My dad would like, entertain the local kids with, regale them with like, he'd act out stuff. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
you know,
that's great.
Frankenberry and his various and sundry other
it's
accents.
a pretty big deal when you're, you know, the kids. I'm sure that was a lot for the kids at that time. How old were you when Frankenberry came out? You're like 10? 10?
8 or 9, yeah.
So cereal eating. When cereal eating was everything.
Like, and I was a Count Chocula guy. When cereal eating was everything, exactly.
Of course you were. There's going to be a way to rebel against your father.
Yeah. So
that's a funny joke.
Rebelled.
That's a funny joke.
That is a funny joke. But I rebelled by being by eating Count Chocula. I preferred Count Chocula. Count Chocula.
And the day our father stopped speaking is when I went Captain Crunch or something. I think it's very funny. There's just something. Yeah. It's like that's his, you know, but that's where the cereal's coming from, is the money he's making off of that. And then you're going to go, no, I think I like the other guy.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, Seinfeld had that great joke about Cookie Crisp cereal, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like, where it actually chocolate chip cookies in a bowl and you pour milk into it. And let's call it the hell with everything, right? Like, they're not even pretending anymore, you know?
Great.
It was funny.
So good. I mean, Cookie Crisp changed your life. Like that was, you could tell what kind of reckless parents you had by the kind of cereal. This is a funny joke. You could tell what kind of reckless parents you have with the kind of cereal you had in your house. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you had like, you know, Cookie Crisp and, you know, Captain Crunch. I mean, if there wasn't one Raisin Bran box.
Lucky Charms. You know? Yeah.
If there wasn't anything healthy.
What's the one? Grape Nuts. That was.
Oh, yeah. Once in a while, that would come up in your life, and you'd be like, "What is it?" That was the funny joke. That was a punchline for us as kids. Yeah. Whereas it's like, just grape nuts. We went to grandma's house. All they had was grape nuts, man.
Yeah. And
we'd talk about
I don't know if it was Seinfeld or somebody had. Of course, the joke was, you know, I open the box, no grapes, no nuts. What the hell's going on here? right. I open the box, no grapes, no nuts. Captain Crunch. I always don't know how that was a marvel of architecture, Captain Crunch, because it shredded the inside of your mouth, and that's how is that possible to have something that you bite into and it literally scraped the skin? There you go. It's the simple
cereal. What are you talking about? We've been eating pizza in New York for how many years, and it just scalds and you still love it.
That burns your mouth. I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm talking about literally like eating a Brillo pad.
It doesn't matter. It's so good. It doesn't matter. You just go back in. You wait an hour and you go back in.
You're just shoveling it into your mouth. Captain Crunch is the greatest thing ever.
Well, Captain Crunch had the best commercials. Like they kind of nailed it, and it smelled the best. Like those berries. Berries smell
Crunch
amazing.
Berries.
You could eat that whole box. I could eat one right now. I wouldn't even care. I would once in a while I'll go down some memory lane and I'll be like, let's see what Captain Crunch is about.
Yeah. I like Lucky Charms because, you know, you'd sit there.
Those.
Yeah, but you'd be like a cocaine dealer, like trying to separate the marshmallows from the rest of the detritus, whatever the hell else. I think it was grape nuts. The rest was grape nuts, and then there was the marshmallows.
Well, that's what it felt like. The cereal part was horrible, but the mushrooms, the marshmallows were good.
Right,
the psychedelic mushrooms that they snuck in there.
The psilocybin.
Yeah, that's how you saw the leprechaun.
Yeah, that's right. Which was what I was doing in Mexico, by the way. Yeah, there you go. Hey, Sea Dog.
You were hanging out with the leprechauns?
No, I was doing ayahuasca.
Oh, you did the drugs?
Yes, I did.
That does it help, or can you just read a book and just do some like me time?
It's
Are you in a cave? What are you, Aaron Rodgers? Like, what did you do?
we went over this. We went over this, didn't we? We already had an episode.
Maybe we did. But you hadn't done it. At least
I had done it.
Okay, you hadn't done it this week. You hadn't done it in a week. We were talking.
No. I just got back the other day.
So you do drugs and you hang out in the woods?
Yeah.
Okay.
You hang out at a
I call that high school, but anyway, go ahead.
Maybe for you. That wasn't me. For you, yeah. No, you take this plant. It's medicine. It's not a drug. They emphasize that it's spiritual medicine, and then you puke your guts out like you've never puked before, and then you have all kinds of visions.
It's like peyote?
It's like peyote, yeah, but more violent.
Were you by yourself, or did you go with your girl?
No. It's a whole group. It's like 9 people.
What a hilarious group of people. I mean, all white, I assume. Black people aren't doing that. That is the widest activity I've ever heard of in my life.
That's really funny.
Gerard Small's not like in on that, I'll tell you. Actually,
I wonder why that is. Why do you think that is? There you go. That's
look at that. That's the widest. The only thing that's ethnic in that photo is the rug. Yeah.
that is the most ethnic thing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Wow.
So that's what it is. It's like that. You guys are like candles and stuff. Did it turn into an orgy? Anything exciting happen, or is it just?
No orgies on this trip.
Oh
Right.
man, that's lame.
Yeah.
I bet it happens. You can't say that on the live air.
That looks.
Little white. Well, that's the season of White Lotus was kind of about that kind of stuff.
Oh, is it?
Enlightenment and just kind of they were in Thailand and all that stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
but
I highly recommend it.
What? Okay, so I'm into I'm into it. I'm into the idea of searching and finding and like exploring. I love all that stuff.
Well, if you read Terence McKenna, Food of the Gods, which is one of the seminal books about psychedelics, it basically says that psychedelics are basically put here in order to expand our consciousness, and they facilitated the evolution of and development of the human brain in our evolution. Okay. I don't know if that's true, but that stuff is crazy. Adam, ever done anything like that?
Sure. Look at him. You don't think that guy's done drugs? That guy's
I've done mushrooms, but I've never done ayahuasca.
He's a walking fish commercial. The band. Well, Food of the Gods is, I remember that it was also a B horror film drive-in movie where all the animals became enormous. Like, I don't know, they ate something and like there was this like giant rats. It's a great drive-in movie.
I don't remember this.
Yeah. It's a 70s thing.
Look that one up, Food of the Gods.
Yeah,
really?
Put up Food of the God. Please put up Food of the God. Put up Food of the Gods. If there's a clip from that, it's the greatest. Please, I would love to see that again.
Wow.
I miss drive-in movies, like the actual movies, because they made movies for drive-ins.
Yes.
There was like, it wasn't a lot. You didn't want a lot of dialogue because you had that crappy metal speaker on your window. You couldn't really hear much. So it needed to be all action.
Just the idea of a drive-in movie sounds nuts, right? You know what I mean?
I love it.
Like the idea. I know it's great, but I did it many times. It was so awesome. But try to explain. Wait a minute. You went to a place. You drove your car in. They put a speaker on your thing. Why wouldn't you just go to a movie? The concept is something that I don't know who thought of it. It was just such an enjoyable, fun thing. But you never would have guessed how enjoyable that could be. You sit in your car. Yeah.
Well,
and you're watching.
Yeah, I remember being in the back, just like loving it. It was just like first time I saw boobs. I think was heavy metal. It was cartoon boobs, and it was like
Food of the Gods. Food of the Gods.
What do we got here? We got a clip. Oh, nice. It's exciting.
1976. Now on Blu-ray.
His War of the Worlds. More imaginative than his time machine. Now, H.G. Wells' masterpiece of science fiction, The Food of the Gods. The terrifying tale of man fighting for his life against an ecology gone berserk. This is the last chance for an unsuspecting world against harmless animals and insects made huge and vicious by the food of the gods. Marjo Gortner.
Marjo Gortner.
Oh, look at how big that rat is.
Franklin.
Shoot him in the eye.
Ralph Meeker. Ida Lupino.
This movie is amazing, I'm telling you.
Oh, this is fantastic.
They're like shooting giant rats. It's like living in the Bronx.
The Food of the Gods for a taste of hell. Rated PG.
It's
that is the best
PG
thing
is
ever.
my favorite part. PG. Yeah, it was terrifying.
I remember frogs too. I saw the frog. That is amazing. Yeah,
that's a classic. That's a really great, and because what they do is they have like Jaws, I guess they'll have like a real shark, but then they'll do the fake stuff. So I love it when they do like a real rat, and then then some dude made it like a big giant rat head.
And I love the fact that it opens with a woman being attacked by a chicken.
Yeah, that's the pretty famous book too. So that's pretty great.
That's hilarious. That a giant chicken attacks a woman, and that's
well. Think about it. I mean, they're the dinosaurs, man. If those things were bigger, we would be afraid of them. There's like
a chicken.
Those, they're like Tyrannosaurus Rexes. They get the 2 feet and they peck. They don't bite you, but they'll peck the hell out of you. I had to catch a chicken. Have you ever plucked and cooked a chicken? I did that once in my life, and it was a lot.
No.
I tell you about this?
Wow.
I lived in, I was a missionary, and I lived in Isla de Juan Fernandez, which is a little island it was about 250 miles off the coast of Chile. And it's a small little island. It's like they call it the Robinson Crusoe Island because there was a guy, this Navy man, Alex Serklerk. He basically was in a shipwreck and lost the whole platoon or the Navy or whatever that was on the boat. And he lived on this island by himself. And he had like a Bible and a fish hook or whatever he had, and that's it. And he just lived there for years. And then he finally got rescued. And then when he went, and then he was in England or something. And I guess who's the author of Robinson Crusoe? Is it Daniel Defoe? Is that it? Is that the author? Anyway, but he was like a celebrity, of this guy that lived this castaway life, and then it inspired the book Robinson Crusoe. So anyway, they call it this island.
Oh.
And so I lived on this island, like 200 people on the whole island. You had electricity from, like 12 to 12, and that was it. And a big generator.
How long did you live here?
I lived probably about a year. I lived on this place. We had like dirt floors, and I mean, it was rough. And,
how did you end up there?
Just as a missionary. As a missionary.
Got it.
For the Mormons, and I was, and then and we lived with a fisherman. And so all we ate was fish, and it was just like constant fish and like sometimes lobster. So it was pretty great, I guess, if you like, pescatarian, diet or whatever.
Sure.
But you're still a kid, like, it's like 20 or 19 or whatever. So it's like, the last thing I wanted is eat another piece of fish, because all we ate was fish. And then there was one random chicken that was just running around wild on the island, and it would taunt us, and it would just kind of like, hey, and then just keep going and then running. And then basically the rule was, if you can catch that chicken, you can eat it. And so we were just like, and I was with this guy, he's from Salt Lake City, and my companion or whatever. And so we were just always thinking about how we gonna catch this chicken, and and I didn't realize that chickens sleep in trees at night when they're wild, like they'll like go up in a tree and stuff like
Adam,
that.
did you know that chickens slept in trees? I did not know this.
When they're wild, they do. When they're wild, when they don't have a coop, and it's like their instinct to, from predators, they have to, they fly up and they sleep.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and so we knew this chicken was going to this one tree, and so we made this horrible like noose thing. Like he put a little clip on it, so it's basically like a string noose where you just like throw it around the neck and pull it. And it was horrible. It was a horrible thing because I never really
horrifying story.
Yeah, well, I've never done it, but this is how food is made. People don't want to think about it, but that's what we do. We kill the animal and we eat the food, and so we just it doesn't make us feel that way when we're at Kroger. But this is what's happening. So,
right
when you get it in a little piece of plastic, it doesn't feel as barbaric. But this is what we're doing.
Yeah,
and
let's
so,
just be honest about it. Yeah,
yeah. And so we've caught the chicken, and then it's just horrible, man. You got to like you boil it, the feathers. It's a horrible process, and chopping the head off. It's horrible. And then we finally get the chicken, and then we go to eat this chicken, and I'm telling you, it was like eating a piece of wood. Like it was the most, because it's been out there just running. So it's just the gamiest, like it was just full of muscle. You don't want an athlete when you eat your chicken.
No, you want a couch potato chicken.
Yeah.
You don't want you want a chicken that's in shape. You don't want a decathlon chicken.
And then one more thing. And so we ate the chicken. That was the whole thing. And then we also had a goat that I named Elvis. And I had no idea they were going to take this goat down. And so one day we're sitting at the table and we're eating. I go, oh, beef, this is great. And then I'm just about to eat it. I go, yeah, that's Elvis. And
feed that into the, oh my goodness.
Well, yeah, wow. It was rough. But that's the thing. That's how they live. They live off the land, these people, they don't have like Whole Foods.
This show has become a slaughterhouse all of a sudden.
Well, but that's how the food is made.
Yeah, these kids out there, they got to learn the real world. That's how.
No, they do need a real look. They need to go to other countries and other places, third world places, because it's like, people, we have it easy over here. We don't. There's nothing. You don't see anything bad. It's just like, hey, you just go into the store and you get the thing. I mean, I come from a place people hunt and stuff, and I'm okay. So I was half okay with it just because of, where I grew up.
I find it fascinating though. Like I know like some Buddhist, activists who wanted to raise money and build like a well in Africa, and they went there, and they were all vegans, like like super vegans, like, and it was very holy, like you don't eat animals, And they asked these people, in this remote village in like Kenya, what would you, we'll raise money for you. What do you want? And they all said, we want a cow, like we want goats and cows and we can eat them, right? Like, and it was this incredible moral dilemma that these people were faced with. I remember hearing this. It was like, what? And they were horrified because they're all white, activist Buddhists, like going and thinking we're going to do good in the world, thinking we're going to go there and do well, and they have their entire reality just thrown in their face going, give us some animals to slaughter, right? Like, and they're like, wait, we are simple Buddhists who want to not have acts of violence done against any animal creatures. And they're like, the hell with that. You want to help us out?
I want a double cheeseburger. That's what I want.
That's right. Right now.
That's
and
funny.
hopefully his name is Elvis, right?
That's funny.
Right.
Hilarious. That's funny.
Yeah, there's something
I like
funny
that.
there.
You should write that. I think that's good. So it comes from
it's a true story. I don't know what the joke is. Like it's just
the joke is. I think it goes back to that thing you just did, where it's like white people and just doing these like kind of not white things, but calling them
they're going
you guys just taking over like these ancient things and calling them a retreat.
I know. There's something so funny about the fact that they're going to deepest Africa and to bring this what they ostensibly call like wisdom. Yeah, and they're like we're more.
Well, you start with your thing about taking drugs in the woods. That's ancient stuff or whatever, and then it's like then it escalates to that thing, which is the vegans trying to like do this thing. I think it's really funny.
And then we're being attacked by giant chickens and talking parrots with my dad's voice in them.
I hope so.
Right? But maybe the chicken had my dad's voice, right?
I can still hear that chicken. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Rah, pretty sure. Yeah.
Let me free. I'm not going to taste good.
We're going to get angry letters from animal
we don't get letters.
Right?
We get fax on occasion, but we don't get a lot of letters.
We get fax. We have a fax machine.
We get a fax. Adam's got the whole fax. He's got a great fax system, the little room.
I still don't understand the whole fax thing. That always baffled me. What was that about? I don't even know.
It was high in technology. It was amazing.
I know, it was amazing.
Send them a fax. Understand it. It was like
I don't know. It was just fax me something. I don't. It's amazing.
It's like before you could email, it was fax.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. I think.
It was pretty cool. You could just write something down, put it in a copy machine thing, and then boom, that person got it. It was great.
I know. It was just a copy machine that worked. I don't know, in the ether.
It was the fastest mail possible. It was amazing. Yeah. People used to. I remember. That's how old I am. When I first started comedy, I had like a fax machine to like Colin Quinn or like to Jay Leno, like phone numbers. Like people would. That was the deal when I first started comedy. It was like, you can fax jokes. Like sometimes they'll buy them. You $100 joke. You can fax.
That's right.
Leno.
I heard that. Yes, I got
a couple on Chris Rock.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You remember one?
I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. It was more like premises. We'd like send just like tons of stuff, and then like
you just send Chris some premises.
Kinda, yeah. Well, like they would like you would take like topical stuff that news stuff, and then just kind of send it out. But we sent a bunch of stuff. It was great.
Yeah, I heard that you get $50 for a joke. Did you make money? Like, I think I sold one joke. Like, I never did that, and I think I sold one joke to a guy who, somebody offered me money for jokes. People would offer me, can I buy some of your bits? And I was like, no, but one guy said, I like that joke. And I go, yeah, it doesn't fit in my act. And he gave me $50 for what I think it was. And it was a stupid, surreal joke. And it was dumb. It was like, hey, you ever wonder what the inside of your nose smells like? I think that was the joke. Right? I think that was the whole joke. It was like a Stephen Wright thing. I had no place in my act. It was just a dumb, random thought. And I think it fit into this guy's act. So I think it was Bob Zaney, actually, right?
Oh, Bob Zaney. I remember Lisa Lampanelli tried to buy a joke, and I wouldn't sell it. And she offered me, and it was like $1,000, and I was like, no.
What was the joke?
It was a joke I ended up doing on Showtime. I think we talked about this before. It was just like at least black people got to travel. It was like this.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. She wanted to buy that? Who's the guy that bought the guy's act and then just kept doing his act?
Like the thing. Huh?
There was a comedian. There was a comedian who sold his act to another guy and then just kept doing his act. the guy said, I want to buy that bit and your closer. And so he gave him like $1,000 or something. And then the guy went, all right, yeah. And now he just kept doing it. So it was like, there was no point in buying it. You might as well just keep doing it. You know what I mean? Like it was the weirdest thing.
Well, I think what you're doing is you're buying the right to do the joke. I'm sure there's no clause saying I have to stop doing it. You're paying me for the right to do it. That's how I would see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't do it on the same show. I'd have a little more respect than that, but
right.
Like if you're on the road and that joke's crushing and it's like, who cares? That guy's not going to see it as long as it's not on TV.
That's true.
Yeah, who cares? I mean, Rodney, like his whole act was from another guy, and the whole no respect thing, that was a totally different comic and all this stuff. So it's like,
really, it was? I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like, because that's what they would always tell us at Dangerfields. There was the guy the original no respect guy was there. He was there sometimes. I got to get his name, but he was
get his name because that is news to me.
Really? That's all they talked about. Rodney. Vinny would always talk about. He would be at the bar sometimes back in the day. Vinny talked about him all the time. Wow. Where were you? You were into your head. You always went downstairs. You never talked to us at Dangerfields. Yeah. You're always in that. You're always in that broom closet they called a green room.
Yeah. With the couch that's still there. The couch is still there. I think.
Oh, at Rodney's, they left it.
Man, you can imagine what went on that couch?
It might not be out there. It might just be a Dangerfields kind of.
No, it's there. It's
no. I'm talking about the no respect guy. Like that might just be a Dangerfields thing that was told to us, a few of us comedians from Tony and Vinny, but it may not be. I'm sure. I'm sure Rodney paid enough to make that go away. So. It's a real thing, but I don't know, at least that they told us. But basically, I think it was just like, Rodney quit. And then this guy came along and they were friends. And I think he just kind of I think that guy was borderline about to quit. And he took the whole no respect thing from him. That's what I was. Wow. It might be in the book. It might be in the book.
You ever see, when you were doing stand-up, and I've seen this a bunch of times, you see people that are doing you.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah.
No, but I mean, they're not necessarily doing your act, but they're going, oh, the influences, you've seen me too much. And they're trying to do you, and it's like painful to watch because you're going, and there have been those stories where like Paul Reiser did a better version of Richard Lewis, a more accessible version of Richard Lewis than Richard Lewis was doing, and he became a bigger star because of that. And you hear this a lot, that some people watch someone and got the kernel of what they did, and then actually did it better than they actually did, and that was like, that's really interesting.
I remember before Aziz he was at the Cellar, and before he kind of blew up, but he was still big. He was had a lot of TV under his belt at that point. And he was doing Mitch Hedberg, and it was, the intonations were all Hedberg, and the voice and everything. And I told him, I said, man, dude, you're doing Hedberg. And it was like a whole thing. And he's like, no, I'm not, whatever. And I was like, yeah, you are. It's like, it's just obvious. Like if you know anything, and a lot of people were doing, Hedberg was the biggest one, I think. And then Attell, there's probably 6 guys that sound like Attell at the Cellar now. It's, you know, he was a big influence, you know, all these guys are so funny. They don't need to do that. It's like, there's some guys that are still doing specials and doing pretty well, and they're still doing Attell. And I want to be like, dude, you don't need to do that. Like, stop.
Don Gavin too. Like guys took that cadence and rhythm. I'd never seen anything like that when I saw Gavin, the hiding of the punchline, the way he did it with that downbeat breath thing that he did. I can't even describe it, but whatever that was, where you hide the punch and then guys, and Tom Cotter talks about it, that he was influenced by that. Wendy Liebman was obviously, you know, saw him and
I did a little Todd Barry in the beginning, you know, it's like, I feel it was like, I just
Todd's another one.
Like, hey, man, you know, it was so fun to do.
Right,
it's like, in the brow and the thing.
It's Todd has that great,
those,
you know.
Those are speakers, baby.
That? Yeah, that sarcastic, low key. It's great. Yeah, it's really funny.
But it happens. It happens. All right. I don't know. Did you find anything on the Dangerfield thing?
Did I, or was Adam supposed to be doing that?
I think Adam's supposed to be doing that. Adam, did you find anything on the Dangerfield respect guy?
No. Let me see. It was.
You didn't even look.
He's doing that.
Fortnite.
Hey, how was the show without? Hey, how was the show without me?
Less interruptions.
Yay! I knew that was coming. Yeah,
we had real conversations and we listened to each other. No, I mean it was. You know, I did like the idea of like having conversations as opposed to just having to like, you know, that anxiousness of like trying to get a bit in, and then kind of summing it up at the end and be like, yeah, I could use that. You know, it was very lax. You know, Jason's very lax. And so he's not as anxious. You know, you're more, you have high energy. He's more kind of laid back. And so it was kind of more two dudes on a porch, you know, I think just talking comedy as opposed to two assassins going at the joke. And so it was interesting. It was like, it was just another way to do it.
I get it.
And you should do it without me. I would just see how you know, it's fun. It's like, okay. It's like walking on a wire, seeing how it goes.
Me and Adam will do a show.
Oh, nobody would watch. That'd be the worst show ever.
Wait a second.
Just be Adam taking like 9 minutes to find something. You're like, hold on a second. I got this.
Hold on a minute. Just a darn minute there.
I think you just got to put in there Dangerfield.
I'm reading this overview, and it's see, he wasn't the first to use no respect, but I can't find who was the first.
I'm telling you, it was another guy at Pips, Brian. It was a guy that worked Pips.
Wow.
And he used to do that, and they were friendly, and the whole thing was just like...
You got to get the name of that guy. I want to know who the name of that guy.
Tony knows it. Vinny knows it. You know, I just can't think of the name. They told me the name. It's a guy, and he used to come into the club, so he was a friend of Rodney's. It wasn't like some weird...
Okay, so if we can't get in touch with Vinny, and we can't get in touch with, let's say... Who could we talk to about that? Like who? What comedians are around from that era?
Well,
like
Q died. He would
Alan
know.
Alan Bursky. You know.
Think about who was a regular. Richie Byrne would probably know.
Really, Richie would know.
Yeah, Richie was. He was always there.
I'll
find out. I'm just we're in the middle of a show, but I want to. I could Google, but it doesn't make for good podcast audio when I'm sitting there going, "Hold on a second," you know. It's like I'm trying.
So we have Adam doing background work.
You know, I could go to a deep search. But there's a guy that was a comedian, not very successful, and Rodney was making a comeback, and they had an understanding that he was going to take that kind of mantra and like take off with it. And he did. And then it was still in his life. I don't know if he was paid continuously or he was just like anything you want at the club or what the relationship was. But apparently he would come to the club a lot, probably before we were there. This is probably 70s or 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
And he would just kind of hang out. But they understand that he lived he was alive at least when I was playing there, and they talked about him that he came in once or something. So it happened at some point a little later. But yeah, he was just a guy that was the guy. He was the no respect guy, and just
That's
and
fascinating.
Rodney, because Rodney was struggling. That's why he quit.
Yeah, because that's a really interesting thing, because you sometimes will see someone like at an open mic night or something, and there's one thing that they do, or a little minor quirk thing that they kind of do to cover a joke or a repeat phrase or something.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, they're not doing nothing with that, and that could be killer. And they're not that good, and someone needs to steal that. Someone needs to steal that, right?
Trust me, somebody will eventually.
Yeah. I think I saw one of my students.
Take it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Do something with that. Do me something.
Yeah, I think there's inspiration. You can be inspired, and it's okay. I mean, everybody does some sort of inspiration. It's like, I remember, even Carlin or Attell or whoever, I would I would get inspired on. I think who inspired me the most when I was recording an album was the Gambino. Who's that guy? Adam, that rapper actor.
Oh, Childish Gambino. Yeah,
Childish Gambino. Like he's a stand-up too, and his Danny Glover, is that his name?
Donald Glover.
Yeah. Donald Glover.
Danny Glover's the
lethal weapon.
That's how white I am. Danny Glover. Yeah. But his special is fantastic. And I remember I watched it, and there was like the way he does his closer. It was like, I was inspired by how he kind of like, revealed and kind of the mechanics of it. And so it helped me with a bit, actually with the Mormon bit, that I couldn't quite get it to hit. And then I studied the mechanics of how he said things. And the joke is completely opposite of his joke. It has nothing to do with anything he's talking about. But I did kind of say, oh, okay, there's a mechanics there where it's basically like the rules of threes or whatever. Like it was a very structured way he's doing it. And then it helped me kind of, get to this thing I needed to. Get to.
Now I gotta see this special, this Donald Glover thing.
It's good. I think he could have easily been a comedian, just like Deion Sanders could have been a baseball player. Like there's certain guys that take a lane, and you're just like they could have done whatever.
No, I saw Glover at the comic strip doing stand up.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He could have totally just done straight stand up and been, whatever. Like he's just so talented that he could just do everything, which I hate him for it. But, when guys are that good an actor and they can do stand up, it's like, shut up, dude.
Yeah.
Like you can't win an Academy Award like Jamie Foxx and then just do a special that you worked out at the Funny Bone. It's like, stop it, dude. That's us. That's our thing.
Right. Yeah.
Go off and be that amazing thing. We're just we're the scrubs. The scrubs
I
of
need
the
this.
art crowd.
You don't need this. You don't need this. I need this.
Yeah, you do.
That's like
right. Well, I guess we never found his name because
the guy from.
I'll find it for next time.
Oh, what do we got? Weirdo live.
Oh, you've already switched on. Oh, well, the one on Netflix, is that the Netflix? It's a Netflix special.
This was his first one. No, this is on Prime. Let me see.
Oh yeah, that's his early whatever, which is probably good to watch too.
Yeah, now I wonder what the next special is, because that's the one you're probably talking about, but I want to see that.
Yeah, it's good. Netflix special. It's really good.
Because I've been trying to come up with a concept or whatever, like I keep talking about doing a special, and I want something interesting, something unique.
It may not be what you're looking for. It was just what I needed at the time. I mean, I know. There's lots of specials that
I like the idea. I came up with this idea of like that it was found footage in a gym locker in Camden, New Jersey. They found footage of me after I disappeared in the wilds of Ecuador.
Oh, okay.
Safari or something.
It's kind of
like I can't. I gotta find that.
Bigfoot bring you up? That'd be funny.
It was like I love the idea that it's like this found footage of me, like the Blair Witch Project. I want to do some kind of Blair Witch thing.
Well, I think the intro could be funny. Yeah.
Right, and I don't know how to. I don't know how to square the circle of like how do I make that be who I am now that I disappeared in the woods
Yeah, that's
and I
funny.
was never
That's,
found it.
That's a funny intro. That's like 6 minutes, and that's it. That's all you need. You don't want
All right, you and I are gonna have to talk about this because
it's just like a 6-minute intro. Well, because
Hold
everybody
on,
does
wait.
that. Like Eddie Murphy, his opening is like he's doing comedy in front of his family when he's a kid. You know, people do that kind of stuff in the beginning. Where are you going?
Yeah. No, because I just found it. I just found it. In 2001. Yeah. All right.
The actual footage.
whatever.
Do you have footage of you with the bullhorn? I'd like to see that.
Oh, that would be really funny. If this is Brian Scott McFadden live at the comic strip, The Lost Footage. And it was a concept idea that I came up with that I basically shot on my own camcorder or something. In 2001, stand-up comedy legend Brian Scott McFadden disappeared in the wild.
Called yourself a legend?
Yes, disappeared in the wilds of. Yes, this is what I. No, but this is the whole joke.
Oh, it's a joke. Okay.
He disappeared in the wilds of Ecuador while on safari in Africa. The fact that Ecuador is not in Africa only added to the mystery. Okay, all right. His body was never found, and many heartbroken fans thought the story an elaborate hoax staged by the wily comic genius to escape the glare of fame. Right? It's the liner notes to this thing, and it just gets weirder and weirder. But in 2008, a video was discovered in a storage locker of a Chuck E. Cheese restaurant in Lodi, New Jersey. Historians raced to the scene and determined that this footage was authentic, right? Okay, I'm not going to read this whole thing, even though it's funny. I'd like to read it, but I think is it self-indulgent to be reading this? Probably, right?
Well, it is when you go in and out. If you just finish it and
all right,
done
you ready?
with.
Okay.
Oh my God, you gonna start again? Okay.
Yeah, no. Okay, this video is thought to be. Oh, never mind. Anyway, the point is, the point is,
No,
it's
it's
long.
funny. I mean, but what's funny about that is like, but you just did that and sold it at shows, right? Or did you get it at a Virgin record store? Like, where did you drop it anywhere? Could you buy it
drop
anywhere?
it? No, I made that for myself, and then
okay.
I don't know what I was going to do with it, but it was basically going to be a documentary where they interviewed people.
Yeah,
talking about me as if I was somebody, even though I was
like
nobody.
it.
At
I think
the
it's
time,
funny. You had the documentary on there as well.
I think I did some like kind of footage thing where they said, yeah, he was. No one knew what happened to him. He was brilliantly funny, and then he disappeared. And then I think there was the idea. Yeah, the idea was that I disappeared, and then I came back. And they didn't believe it was me. Like, no one believed it was actually me. They think I'm still dead, right? So,
nice.
So I try to go back on the road, and no one believes it's actually me. They think I'm still dead. I don't know. There's some kind of weird.
I think you're DB Cooper. That's what I think.
Okay, all right. I think I'm DB Sweeney is who I am. Hey, there's a reference. Right.
All right, folks.
I'm the DB Cooper of comedy. Yes,
you are. That's a good one. I remember that being a big deal. He stole all that money and jumped out of the plane.
He disappeared.
He was the coolest thing to us as kids. Like we got that story, that movie came out. We were just like, this guy's the coolest dude ever. He robbed a plane and parachuted out.
And he never was. It still hasn't been solved, right?
Not really. Yeah, they say they found money. They found idea. They had an idea, but they just where he might have lived. But they never. It was kind of a cold case thing or whatever.
That's
an unsolved mystery. The DB Cooper.
Unsolved.
It's a pretty good movie. Pretty good movie. Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
For an 80s whatever.
What was the name of it?
DB Cooper, I think.
Oh, was it? Okay. Really? That was they just. The DB. I thought it was something else. Right, I remember that movie.
All right, Adam, you got one last thing here. Pull up.
It's called The Pursuit of DB Cooper.
There you go.
From 1981.
All right, well, I was half right. His name was in the title.
That's right. All right, so what have we learned today?
I don't know. I'm in Vegas, so this is where I'm at. I'm at the Strat.
Eat goats, eat chickens, food of the gods.
Here at the Stratosphere, which is a great hotel as long as you don't leave the casino. Because it's like a Thunderdome. It's an apocalypse out there.
Is it bad? What's
It's
the
just
story?
Oh, you don't. I guess you don't know that part of Vegas. It's just the lower on the strip. It's got that big needle in the sky. You know where it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, they got a roller coaster up there.
Is it a comedy? What is it? The comedy club in there?
Yeah,
or
it's
something?
a comedy club. Yeah. It's a LA comedy club inside the Stratosphere.
Who are you with?
Me here a week.
Who are you working with?
I don't. What's his name? I don't know. I don't know.
What's the DB Cooper?
I don't know his name. I'm
It's
not
the
with
Rodney-
Nate.
it's the
I'm
guy-
not with
it's the-
Nate, so
Oh, okay. It's the guy who did Rodney
the
Stole.
local
He's in his
Nevada
90s.
guy or something. I don't know.
Okay. So it's just a
nice
two-man
guy.
show? Yeah.
3. They have an MC. The MC is autistic, and I think I was hard on him a little bit last night.
Oh, ouch. Like you were on me today, right?
I wasn't mad. I wasn't hard on you. Well, you are kind of autistic. You're on some sort of spectrum.
Yeah, I got something. Yeah. I'm on some.
No,
kind
it
of
was like the
spectrum.
audience got real sensitive or whatever, and I was like, "All right, dude, you were nice to the autistic kid," just because it was a funny moment to me because it was like, because if I'm autistic, and he's talking about it. It wasn't like I'm just like I'm summing him up as being autistic because he's talking about it. So I'm so I'm bringing it back. It's like I'm not doing anything like, "Hey, look at that guy. You think he's like gonna solve a Rubik's cube in 2 minutes?"
Yeah.
That's not what I'm doing. I'm just
wow.
I'm just like, kind of giving the audience crap for not, being weird or whatever. It was just funny. It was funny, but I don't think he can process it. So I think I got to apologize to him tonight and be like, "Hey, I was just playing around." Because it's like, if you were on stage doing something crazy, I'd make fun of it. And so I was just like, and I'd be like, "That Brian guy, we get it. The characters or whatever you were doing. I'd just be funny about it." And so I do that. That's just part of it. You do comedy long enough in New York, it just comes out of you, to kind of comment on the guy before you.
Always. Yeah. And I've almost never made that mistake, but I've done it. And I remember every time I've done it where I said something that offended the person.
Yeah. It's like, you gotta, there's definitely a line. You don't want to ever say anything of female comic or anything that's, whatever, or, anything that's going to be dissing them in any way. But
I think I told that story where I went on and the guy said the guy bombed so bad that I couldn't help but say something about it. And I said, if you guys don't laugh at me, I'm going to bring him back on.
Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst one you could say.
It was the worst one.
That is the absolute worst. And
I was so young.
Yeah.
And I was so young at the time. I was like, I'd been doing comedy like 3-4 years or something. And I thought, well, you think something funny, you just say it, right? I didn't even.
It's
and I
funny.
thought,
it's funny. It's like Patrice funny. Like it's like that's what guys were doing back then. It's funny.
Yeah. And you were so in the zone of like, I never even thought, like, if I bombed and someone said that about me, I would have been like, yeah, you got to do whatever, you got to do what you got to do, but he did not like that. And I don't, I don't blame him. Now that I look at it, I go,
hilarious as long as you're not that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I think with me, it's like if I had a whole stressful thing getting here. Like we have one car, and so Leah had some gigs. It's like, let's take a Flix bus, and so to Vegas, it drops me off. Whatever, I don't care. I've taken buses to gigs before. Not a big deal. It's like it's 4 hours away from California. It's not a big deal. And so, but then it just never showed up. And so it was just like they end up canceling the bus, and it was just like, so then I had to take the car. It was a whole thing. So anyway, long story short, I was cranky, and so when I'm cranky and haven't napped and hungry or whatever, and I get up there, it was basically I just made the show, driving all the way from LA, and then I just basically walking in, and it's like, so anything on stage is going to be pretty moody at some point. If you're not laughing at a level that I think you should laugh at, I'm probably going to be a dick, and so I can't help it. It's just what's going to happen.
Of course. Yeah.
So if I'm rested and I did some exercise and listened to my song and did my mantra and all that, it's like, I'll let it slide. But if you don't laugh at me, then I'm going to make fun of the guy before me. I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm bringing the whole ship down.
Yeah. I'll take this. I will take this edifice down I'll burn this place to the ground. Right?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
I have no problem with these 38 people that showed up on a Monday to a casino show. I will take you all down with me.
Yeah. I thought it was survival of the fittest. When I was on stage, I thought anything's fair and game. Like if the guy bombed and you have to say something, I didn't even get. But the guy was offended. I understand it looking back.
Of course he's offended.
Yeah,
do you know if that guy's still doing comedy?
No. Yeah.
You ruined his life.
The guy ruined his life. I was the last. That was the
working
last show.
He's working at a factory, just hating his life. He's cursing your name every chance he gets.
Yeah.
This guy.
One last thing. Speaking of awful. Oh, never mind. We'll save that one for another day. Right? We gotta wrap this up.
Awful what?
No, there's a terrible, awful story about a comedian who did not make it. And it's a really
name?
Well, you would know him, and I'm not even sure I remember his name. No, but he went to kill himself on to jump off the George Washington Bridge.
Yeah,
he went there and he parked his car near there's like a little parking lot, and he was walking to the bridge, and a cop said, "You can't park there," right? Like, okay, and the guy like, well, you can't park there, and so he had to. He couldn't find a place to park. He literally went to the bridge to jump off, and he could not find a place to park. And so his life was saved by a cop saying this to him.
Oh, and he did a joke about it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But the sad part is he went another time and did it.
Oh, that's not a good story.
It's not a good story at all. Like the fact that he told the story on stage, okay,
and then he ended up
doing it is just like so painful, and so like there's nothing humorous there except like the fact that he literally. I'm sorry and that's why I said I didn't want to do it. Right, this story. We could.
Well, don't bring it up if you don't want to do it.
Well, but wait a second.
Of course, we're going to want to hear it. We don't.
I know, but that's such a.
Does a dog die also? Like how much are you going to bring this room down?
You're the guy who ate his goat, right? You ate Elvis. You ate your pet goat.
That's
you
true.
ate Elvis.
I set a tone. That's okay. I don't care.
All right.
No, one less comic. No, I'm kidding. God bless him.
I mean, talk about. Me hurting that guy's feelings. That
he can't hear me. He can't hear me. Not like you, where he can, this guy. I'll bring him up back if you guys. I'll bring him back up. I love that. That's happened a couple times in my life.
What's that?
To me, I think I've said that to a crowd. I said I'll bring that other guy back. I've said that before. I'm that guy. I've said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I probably waited till they left. I wouldn't as cruel as you, or you just making eye contact in the back.
I know. I felt bad. I felt so bad for the guy. I was like,
comedy. You must address the energy, and sometimes it's like we have to you have to do that kind of stuff. I mean,
it was a bomb. In the top 5 bombs I've ever seen on stage.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was that bad. And I had to go up after. And I wasn't even a headliner. I was middling. Yeah. Like I was middling, and he just ate it really bad. And
it happens.
And I said it.
Yeah.
And he didn't like it at all. And I don't blame him. But anyway, there you go.
All right, folks. If you don't like this podcast, we'll I was trying to think of a funny podcast that nobody likes. we'll air that podcast.
We'll air that podcast. The other
podcast.
The other podcast.
All right, everybody. All right. God bless America.
Well, folks, that's our show. It's time for us to go. Make sure to follow us. Give us a like. Drop us a comment and always subscribe. We're chasing comedy on all the socials. We hope you had a gas, had some laughs, and maybe you learned something too. Until next time, we're Brian and Dustin, and we're chasing comedy.